Well, I don't think a lot of people realize that the first Mortal Kombat was just 4 guys. You know, there was 1 programmer, 2 artists, and a sound guy, and we made the first game, and it was like 8 months. So it was very garage band, very a small budget. You know, we didn't know what we were working on in terms of how big of an impact it would be. So it was a nice, surprise success story that we all, are still kind of like in wonder of. The development was very, off the cuff. We're just, let's rip the guy's heart out. Let's add fireballs. Let's, have the guy fly across the screen. It was really just, 4 guys just kind of coming up with really cool ideas that just happened to click with people. Definitely one of the things that we wanted to do with this last Mortal Kombat was to make features that the fighting game community, the hardcore guys, would really embrace. And the fact that it has as much of a presence as it does is really a nice kind of like confirmation that they've embraced it, and we really want to hear what they have to say for future Mortal Kombat games. One of the things that made Mortal Kombat stand out was just how realistic the graphics were. We had that whole digitized graphics where we used real actors in the studio, and that was the first time that people saw a video game, in that format that was so realistic. And so when we added blood, all of a sudden it just became a little bit more shocking, I guess, from that perspective. When all of the ESRB things came, we were actually in agreement. We didn't feel like, young kids should be playing something that kind of crazy, hyper violent. So we were all for it. I think we're all always big fans of kind of letting people control what their kids are going to be playing. I always want some kind of a question mark over the game where people like, when you would play the game and somebody would do a fatality, the first question somebody would say was, how did you do that? Everybody wanted to know, how do I get to, do something as cool as that? We haven't announced any new Mortal Kombat games. I would be surprised if we didn't do one. The last one did really well. Right now, our focus is on Injustice, and it's kind of like, we're trying to really start a completely different kind of fighting game line. But I'm sure at some point we're going to kind of clear our desk and, decide where should Mortal Kombat go next. We would be willing to do a Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. When we kind of joined the Warner family, a lot of our discussions was, what could we do internally within the all of the intellectual properties that Warner Brothers had, and one of the things that came up was DC. They had published a game called Batman Arkham Asylum, which was doing great, and they were working on a sequel, and so it was kind of like, what else can we do with these characters? So a fighting game seemed to be kind of like the perfect marriage between the two, and since we had done a number of fighting games, kind of just hooked together, and that the game kind of took a life on its own.
Lighten up, will ya?
Well, Injustice, so far we're just saying Injustice is going to come out in 2013. We are targeting the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and the Wii U.